Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another free-to-play Master Duel video. Now, considering I'm labeling this as a budget deck, Blue Eyes White Dragon is very difficult to call free-to-play or budget. As you can see, there's a ton of URs here, a few SRs, and this is, as budget as I can make it. But to be honest with you, if you're really planning on playing Blue Eyes White Dragon, you really have to grind and spend a good amount of gems, UR tokens, SRs to make this deck like smooth and work well. But yeah, just being honest with you, transparent. Like this deck, I've got W's. I don't have records of my gameplay anymore because it's been a while since I've played this deck. But I'll run into a CPU match just to show you how it works, and some replacement cards. But the basis of this deck is when you start the game, ideally you pick the Power of the Dragons structure deck, right? Because that gives you 2 blue eyes for free. And I tried to make a deck work with this at first, but it really, most of these cards are not that useful. Actually, I don't use any of these cards besides 5-headed dragon. I just use 1 copy of that and the 2 blue eyes. But the 2 blue eyes is worth it, because that's 30 UR each. So from there, I crafted. Sorry, let's get in here. So I crafted. Let's see what I crafted. I probably crafted something like True Light. No. Here we go. White Stone of the Ancient. This is a good one to start crafting with, because if you craft this, then you could unlock the secret pack, Azure and the Ivory, and like I keep saying, a minimum of 2,000 gems to guarantee UR, and that UR could be Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative, Chaos Max. There's a few URs. Let's go through the deck list. So obviously, Blue Eyes, and ideally you run 3. I actually ran 2 of these originally, but since I wanted to run Blue Eyes Ultimate, which has 3 Blue Eyes in there, that's why I wanted to have 3 of these. The DD Crow, standard hand trap, White Stone of Legend. So this card is kind of slow, so ideally you do not run this. Ideally you replace this with a 3rd White Stone of Ancients, or another hand trap actually would even be better, like another Ash Blossom or a Maxi. That would be better, because if this is sent to the graveyard, like this effect is slow, but we're talking free-to-play budget, so that's why I run it. So if this is sent to the graveyard, you could add Blue Eyes to your hand, and then you can work off of that. Maiden Eyes with blue. This effect is nice because if the opponent targets this card, you can special summon Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really cool. And then also you can negate their attack and then change this to defense. So you have to summon this in attack to get the effect running. But it's nice. So I run 3 of these. This is nice for free to play. Priestess Eyes of Blues. I include her. Her effect is not the best. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card, you can send 1 effect monster to the grave, and if you do, add up to 2 blue eyes with different names to the hand. So with this, you could combo, say, a White Stone of Ancients, because this is an effect monster, or we'll get into the other cards, like one of these other effect monsters that gives you nice effects off of pushing them to the grave. So we'll take a look at those. But if this is in the graveyard, you could special summon a Blue Eyes from the deck. So ideally, you target this quick effect with Whitestone of Ancients, and then you immediately get a Blue Eyes. Protector with the Eyes of Blue. When this is normal summon, you can special summon a Light Tuner from your hand. So this is kind of situational. I just include it because I like a little variety of options when I'm playing. So you could special summon a Light Tuner, right? So if Maiden with Eyes of Blue is in your hand, Priestess with Eyes of Blue, Whitestone of Ancients, these are all tuners. So if any other of these starter cards is in your hand, you can make use of this guy's effect. You can target one effect monster you control, send it to the grave, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand. So this is really conditional. So I include this. You can cut this card out. Like, this is very situational kind of card. You know, you need a tuner in your hand. You need another effect monster on the field, and then a Blue Eyes in your hand to fully get the benefit of this card. So ideally, take this out. I'm gonna keep it in just for my showcase, against the CPU. Alright, so Sage with the Eyes of Blue. This is an SR. When this card is normal summon, you can add a Light Tuner from your deck. So that effect is nice, except this same card. You can discard and target an effect monster you control, send it to the grave, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes. So the cool thing with this is you could combo with Whitestone and you can get 2 Blue Eyes special summoned. So you could send this to the grave, discard this, and then you can get 2 Blue Eyes. Boom. So that's nice. Master, so when this is normal summon, you could target a tuner in your grave, add it to your hand. So this kind of recycles your cards. Recycles your starter cards, so it helps. It's not the best, but it helps. This is the best starter card because basically immediately once this is sent to the grave, so it's not really conditioned on how it was sent. It's just if it was sent this turn, you can special summon from your deck. So as long as you have a Blue Eyes monster, and it's saying, Blue Eyes, so that could also mean anything that has Blue Eyes in its name, which let's get into that because it's not any of those cards. Sort this correctly. All right. So let's see. So this card's name becomes Blue Eyes while in the field or in the graveyard. So not in the deck. So in the deck it's not considered Blue Eyes. This is not considered Blue Eyes. Nope. Ah, here we go. Dragon Spirit of White. This card is always treated as a Blue Eyes card. So, if you run out of Blue Eyes cards in your deck, you can consider this card, for that summon effect. Just working off of what these cards do. Moving on. So we got the Ash Blossom hand trap, Ghost Spell hand trap. I run Ghost Spell to fight against DPE. Kaiju, highly recommend you run a Kaiju or 2. I should probably run 2, but I could probably remove a spell card for that. Blue Eyes Alternative. So this is a really cool card, and obviously it's UR, so you gotta, either craft it or put some gems into getting it. But All you have to do is reveal a blue eyes in your hand. So that's from, you know, one of these effects to bring, here we go, a white stone. So say with the white stone, you bring blue eyes to your hand, and then you already had a blue eyes, or you draw a blue eyes alternative. So you reveal the blue eyes white dragon, and then you can special summon the alternative, which has stats equal to the blue eyes, so it works. So this is cool. Blue Eyes Chaos Max. I just added this recently because I found out that Bingo Machine Go, with its effect that you could search any Blue Eyes monster or spell or trap that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon or Ultimate Dragon, you could search Chaos Form. So this is searchable, so it's cool. I included it. Obviously, you know, it could be a brick, but when it works, it's really strong. Your opponent cannot target with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And you get double piercing damage. I mean, you know, it's just really the 4,000 attack, and you can't target this card, so it's really strong. You could take this out. You know, some of these other dragons can be useful, so that's the whole thing. Blue Eyes, there's a ton of Blue Eyes cards. They're not all really that useful. Ideally, if you had to choose, you could probably fill in with Dragon Spirit of White, because this Blue Eyes Solid doesn't have great effects. Moving on, so Raigeki, you get that from solo mode, definitely include. Harpies, Feather Duster, I crafted. You should definitely craft this, or replace it with Mystical Space Typhoon. Monster Reborn, solo mode. I just included this because there's so many like graveyard effects with Blue Eyes that I don't mind running a discard, you know, type of spell. Monster removal card. So that's why I included this. This is nice for the fusion spell, fusion summons, which we'll get into. As I was saying, with the graveyard effects, so you can target a graveyard monster and return it. You know, you can run an additional one of these if you'd like. I have 3 of them from the Dragon Maids structure deck, so that really helped out with that cost. I got these from the pack. These are really nice, especially if you get it, you know, in your opening hand. So you could identify one of these Blue Eyes. You can identify one of these spell cards. I think this card is also included. So it really gives you options, and it's a random pick. So you're not really guaranteed to get what you want, but you know, you give yourself a good chance of drawing something you need to move forward. And you could run 3 of these, but you know, it just gets expensive, right? So there's that. Lightning Storm, awesome card. Pot of Prosperity, it just got reduced to 1 recently. I crafted this. You don't have to, but I thought this was the best pot spell to include, because not all of your extra deck is that great. It's really just like 1 or 2 cards that you really need. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but I think it's a great card to include. Mausoleum of White. Now this, it's situational. You know, the spell cards in the Blue Eyes decks can be bricks. They can all definitely be bricks. But this is nice because as a field spell, it says you can normal summon 1 Light Tuner in addition to your normal summon once per turn. If you target a face-up monster, send 1 normal, that's a Blue Eyes, from your hand or deck to the grave, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack or defense, attack and defense equal to the level of the monster sent to the grave times 100 until the end of this turn. So if it was a Blue Eyes, that's 800. So that's nice, and an extra 800 attack boost on one of these tuners, to get you through the round. If you wanted to keep it on the field for whatever reason. And we just spoke about this. I just recently included this. Definitely can be bricks, but if you can get this off of Bingo Go, and either draw this or have this in your hand, it's very, very nice. It could definitely end the game for you. Rage with Eyes of Blue. Like I was saying, a bunch of the blue eyes cards are bricks, and not ideal to run. I think this is one of the more decent cards. So it says banish this card and as many cards as possible from your hand, field, and grave. And if you do, special summon up to 3 blue eyes from your deck. So it's more of a last resort kind of play, but it's really nice when it works. But you definitely need blue eyes monsters. So it's specifically saying blue eyes white dragon. So you need these in your deck for this to work. Forbidden Droplet, I got this from the pack. Successor Soul. So it says tribute 1 effect monster, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, send it to the grave, then special summon a level 7 or higher normal, which is blue eyes, from your hand or deck. So this is a really... Why don't I run more of these, honestly? Because it's conditional. You need one of these effect monsters, starters, on the field. You need this card in your hand. And then an effect monster on the opponent's side, which is definitely reasonable. So, speaking about which cards are bricks, if you're trying to replace these Chaos Forms, I'd definitely add another one of these, because that's a strong effect to combo with your starters. Jeez. Bottomless Trap Hole, I just love running traps. Lost Wind is super strong, so I highly recommend, especially with the effects monsters have these days. Solemn Warning, I got this from a pack. I just included. I think Solemn Judgment is stronger. Call of the Haunted, I just like using this with blue eyes. You could run another trap if you so wish. But this is a really nice card, True Light. So you could probably run another one of these. I just hate pricking in this deck. Pricking is so common in this deck. So your opponent cannot target blue eyes in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent to the grave, destroy all monsters you control. So that's like the downside. You can only use the effect of True Light once per turn. You can special summon a blue eyes from your hand or grave, or set one spell from your deck that specifically. So it's kind of like the Eternal Soul, but for blue eyes white dragon. So it comes with its downsides, but if you can set this and have him in the right place in your hand or grave, then you can continuously bring back your blue eyes cards, which is really, really nice. To quickly go over the extra deck, like as I said, this is not the main point of the deck, but it just helps. So Twin Burst, it's nice because you can make 2 attacks on monsters. This is just a strong card. This is a really strong card. I just include it, like how often are you going to get this, but what helps, here we go. You could banish fusion materials from the field or the grave. So you don't necessarily need them all in your, on the field. If you have 5 monsters total between the hand and the grave, then you're good to go. And these are considered dragons also. So you can meet this condition. It's just it has no effects. It's just a 5,000 attack monster. So it's nice. Blue Eyes Neo Ultimate. So this has really cool effects. You can send a Blue Eyes from your exit deck to the grave. This card can attack again. You can use this effect twice per turn. When a card targets a Blue Eyes monster, you can banish this from the graves, and so that's just this graveyard effect. So this is a really nice card, especially it's super rare. Azure Silver Eyes. So I just run this because I run a bunch of tuners. It just kind of fills in a spot. It's nothing special. Dragulon. So these are cool because with this card, or was it 96? Anyway, no, it's this one. You can detach material and take 2 different dragon numbers, which would be 46 and 92. Special summon one and attach the other. So it has really cool effects. So I highly recommend you include 97 and like 2 other numbered dragons that kind of synchronize well with the levels of monsters that you have. It's just really cool to run. I just included Pisty. I mean, how often are you really gonna link off for this? But if you link off of this and you have another monster on the field, you could run Hieratic Seal, which has a really nice bouncing effect. So that's a strategy if you're basically, I guess, like turn 1 and you want to protect yourself. You could even run an extra one of these. So I got these from the Dragon Maids structure deck, which is 750 each. Highly recommend you pull on that to help shore up the weaknesses of this Blue Eyes deck. So Hieratic Seal can definitely be a good turn 1 strategy to, you know, dismantle or protect yourself from opponent's turn 2. I'm running this card, but it's kind of useless, to be honest, because I don't have any Dragon Edie or Dragon Ravine spells in my deck, so it's kind of just filler. Cross Sheep is filler, but kind of has cool effects, which I am not an expert on, but you know, if a monster is special summoned, depending on the type, you can gain an effect. So, you know, it kind of combos well. But I am not an expert. This just gives you a free negate, which is cool, without losing the card itself. And then I just included this because I got this from solo mode or from the Cyberlink pack, starter pack, I forget which, and I crafted access code because it's just super strong. Why wouldn't you include this if you already have it? And that's the deck. Let's get into some gameplay really quick. Okay, so I don't know what they're running. Okay, lightning vortex. Okay, so we have Blue Eyes in our hand, DD Crow. We can destroy all monsters on the field. Fusion spell. You can normal 7 summon 1 light tuner in addition to your normal set. And this is my desperation card. So let's just activate this field spell. We are not going to run that. So I was talking about bricks. We just bricked this hand. So I am going to discard DD Crow. And remove the Harpies. and we are going to pass, and hopefully we survive until the next round. So I didn't get any of my starters. It's unfortunate. See if we can get to the next round. Puppy's hunting grounds. Not looking the best for us. I'm gonna play it out. Cyber Okay. Alright. So we got a starter card, but it's kind of slow. The speller track is activated. Alright, so we're just going to... Yeah, this is too slow. We're gonna run this. So we're desperate. We're going straight to battle. So the cool part about Blue Eyes is you could always make a comeback. Alright. So yeah, that... What was that card again? Bison of Legend. Too slow. Definitely takes us out of the deck. Tuner. I can get cannot be destroyed by battle. Just make 2 attack, no monsters. No, we're just gonna. Leave a big target on the field. Start swinging. Damn. You hate if I lose this and the opponent at 200. Come on. I hate that kind of thing. Alright. He sets in defense and a trap and passes. So this is the brick that I was talking about. Yeah. You should just get rid of this card. I mean, or just run one. Just run one Chaos form as opposed to the 2 that I had in the profile. Is this for game? Alright, so obviously the CPU isn't that great of a player, but I just showcased I did not showcase any Blue Eyes combos using the starters, but yeah, I showed what could happen if we're really pushed to a wall. Luckily, we had Rage Eyes of Blue. So there you go. There's Blue Eyes White Dragon. More content to come. I've been working on a bunch of legitimate free-to-play decks. This this is an expensive deck, even for budget. But I've been working on a bunch. I hope to showcase that to you guys soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, take care.